You should see yourself. You have any idea what you look like right at this moment, Spike?
What?
A ravenous beast. The same blood runs through both of us. The blood of a beast who wanders, hunting for the blood of others.
I've bled all that kind of blood away.
Then why are you still alive?
Hey, what's going on? Look who's back. Showdown, episode 6. What's up, Erik?
Six.
Couldn't
help it, nigga.
Couldn't help it, man. What's going on, man? This is Showdown. I am your host, Platinum Chanel Boy, aka Jeff. Isn't it? It's kind of crazy how maybe I should say Jeff, aka Platinum Chanel Boy, not Platinum Chanel Boy, aka Jeff.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
makes me seem like a not a real person at all.
We're all characters at the end of the day.
What's going on, though, E? Got my co-host. What's up?
Hey, Erik Clapton in the house.
What's going on, man? How you living?
Feeling lifted and know I'm blessed for this episode today, because we on the holy grail of one of the greatest animes of all time.
We are there. And of course we had to get one of these in because we're gonna talk deeply about how good this series is and what it means to the culture before we actually get into this showdown, which is it's a quick showdown, right? But it's so beautiful, it is so meaningful with the music and the words that we had to step into it, right?
One of the pinnacle battles in anime history, man. We're talking over here about Spike and Vicious.
Cowboy Bebop
on full effect. Now,
full effect.
I think, at least let me start off by saying, if this isn't the show that started the low key, like the underground craze for Toonami fans, not even anime to Toonami fans.
Yeah, this is such an important show to like Toonami's wave, like their whole movement. So you probably remember hearing this intro, even if you weren't like into the show, like you remember seeing it on. Maybe you weren't paying attention. Maybe you did pay attention. Maybe you know exactly what it is, but you know how important it is.
Oh, for sure, you had to. Like, if you weren't you might have been playing games with your friends and stuff, and all of a sudden you just hear that iconic intro, or just see like, what the hell is that? The first time you ever hear jazz, like a dope jazz intro, ever. Like, I think this is definitely one of our favorites of all time.
Yeah, it's special. Yeah, it's definitely on the list as far as being really, really neat. But before we truly jump into Spike versus Vicious on Cowboy Bebop, what else you going on? What you got going on, man? What you watching?
Oh yeah.
What you watching? You caught up on Titan yet? Me and Mills, we spoke about Titan a little bit.
It
took me a week and a half. Took me a week and a half to get there.
Yo, first off, I'm proud of you, my nigga.
Yes, because episode 1 of season 4 opens up like so many. Yeah, it just opens up so many things.
Sadly, I'm not up to date yet. I'm still I'm almost there. I'm like 5 episodes in until I get to season 4.
Okay, good.
So
I'm glad, man. It's a really great season. I slept, man. I tell you, just like I told Mills, it was a good sleep. Like, it was something that I needed to like stray away from for a while before jumping into it and like taking it all in. I'm glad I binged it. It's a really good binge show. Mills said the same thing. So make sure you guys check out Attack on Titan if it's something you're really into, if you're just an anime fan, because it's just really good work, man.
Such a good show.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, let's talk about Cowboy Bebop a little bit, man. So before we get into how this showdown starts, because it is it's a beautiful kind of slow burner of an episode. The actual showdown itself isn't necessarily this massively dragging fight. It's very quick, but there's just so many things built up around it and how it plays out that what makes it so important. First of all, for an anime to come out a long time ago and basically hasn't been touched since, visually, it's so beautiful.
the director of this series, like he knew that the story was amazing, and he knew that the people, like the animators, had to like know that this was going to be a masterpiece because this because everything is so crisp and clean to this day. Like like there's so many versions of it now. Like it's the cleanest it's ever been in 4K. Like it's untouchable.
It's untouchable, really. You can't really you're not gonna be able to just prick at this thing and try to make it better. Like it is what it is. Each episode is basically its own anime. You know, you still have that same space cowboy. You know, you know what's going on for the most part when it comes to the character selection and who you see, but each episode is its own entity, and that's what makes it so special.
And then like to know that each episode is its own, but there's also a mainline story that's actually
it's just tied in, like
in a
like very strange way.
Spike has his own thing, Jet has his own thing, and Faye and all, like every character all has like a crazy. Each story has their each character has their own crazy story, but their past is also a storyline that connects them together. Like that like that bond ship is like
it's all amazing. There. It all has its purpose. So yeah, no, it's a very pretty but gritty. Probably one of the greatest dubs ever.
Oh, yo, top tier.
It's one of the best dubs, and the intro obviously is you know, a classic, right?
Like real quick with the dub, the creator of the series prefers the dub more than the Japanese version. Like it's written down in history saying, he's like, oh no, the dub version is the best version of the series. I prefer that more than anything. Like Spike, he said he wished he had the voice of Spike, of the dude who did Spike.
No, it's a really
so good. Talk like him.
It's very good. It's like I said, probably one of the greatest dubs from an anime standpoint. Absolutely, it's top tier. And again, thank you Toonami for real, because we would have never been able to see. You know, when I first saw this as a kid, or just picking on it here and there, like I wasn't even considering the fact that this is Japanese or whatever. Like it was just tight.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was just like, oh, what space, like futuristic bounty hunting, like that sounds amazing.
It's definitely a crazy situation, but its original air date was November 21st, 1998. All right, so I was 8 years old, 9 years old.
We were 8 years old when we saw this, man. What?
It's wild to really think about it like that. It makes me feel extremely old. But the main setting that this showdown kind of takes place in, when we get to the very special moment, is this very dark, dusty church. And this window, it's like a cathedral type window. I'm sure if you know about this episode, you're not gonna forget what happens and what takes place in this area. Although it's me and Erik are gonna talk about, it is very fast, it's very quick, but it's so good and it's so built up.
Like I think if anything, this episode for sure is exactly the name of our show, a fucking showdown. Like a real showdown.
For real. So basically, I mean, there's a situation where a bounty is available, and I believe Jet and Spike kind of disagree about the bounty. Like Jet's like, man, chill out, like don't worry about this, like I'm not gonna save your ass if something crazy happens. Like, and Spike's like, man, look, we gotta get this money.
Yo,
this is personal, but I'm not gonna tell you why it's personal, but it's personal. Like
like Jet smelled the BS from a mile away. He's like, hold on, man. Like I can't. He said we can't accept this, but lo and behold, Spike has a little intel about the whole thing. So like you said, it's personal. So it's personal.
It's personal. And meanwhile, Faye ended up receiving a message after Spike and Jet were out the room, and then she tries to go off on her own on some quick shit. Be like, you know what? I got this tip. Let me run up in here and try to handle this real quick. And then she gets her own stuff in a bit of a doozy.
Yeah.
So basically, there's a bounty on a member of the Red Dragon Syndicate. And
sounds ill as fuck too.
Exactly. And Faye goes ahead, goes a little bit ahead by herself, gets caught up, and gets kidnapped. Basically, I mean, yeah, she was out here trying to play around, but she looked great though. She looked
yo, I'm sorry, spoiler alert. Yo, for a 400-year-old woman, yo, bruh.
Yeah, she
banging.
She looked great, man. She looked great, but yeah, she got caught up trying to go ahead, and then meanwhile, you want to try to dance over Spike's conversation with Annie, with Anastasia. Like, how do you feel about like that whole conversation? First of all, great art. The kids, the little black kid. It was so good.
Representation. Oh my god.
Yeah, good representation. It was so dope. Like I love the color. I thought that was a great scene. And when Annie actually saw Spike, I loved the facial reactions, and it seemed real. You know what I mean? I really did like that.
Spike being Spike, still quick with the hand, snatching the
the porn magazine the kids try to take from her store. Yeah.
Like in front of her, so she's like knows who it is. Like that's so cool though. Like,
now, what'd you take from that conversation?
I take it as like it's good to see you and everything, but I really want to try to get close to Vicious and try to figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't it's been such a long time, I miss you. It wasn't really that type of conversation. It was definitely like, I am here for a reason. Yes, it is Vicious, and yes, I'm going to handle it this time around type shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. It was like a nice, I don't want to say foreshadowing, but it was just the way Cowboy Bebop wraps their story around dialogue is brilliant. So that's why I just wanted to kind of like, discuss this for a minute.
Also with the conversation, it's just like you show like it's like the way they talk and show the conversation. It's like everything they say is not only like everything they say matters and is an innuendo of something else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love that. It's like, they're speaking in code and casual talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Somewhere down the line, I think Spike, who called this? I believe Faye. They have Faye call, and she's like, "Hey, I got caught up. If you don't come get me, they're gonna kill me."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, so not just does Spike have to worry about getting the bounty clear on the Red Dragon Syndicate. Vicious, now he's got to make sure he gets Faye out of there as well, which raises the stakes already of this episode. And even with you and I talking about this shit right now, like this seems like an hour and a half of work.
Yeah.
But it's really not. Like Cowboy Bebop does a really good job condensing these episodes into like a mini story, and it's awesome. So. But yeah, you have really nice scene of Spike walking in this cathedral church area, really gritty, dark. You see the blammers. You see the blammers.
Oh, indeed.
The showdown kind of starts off because a guy has Faye pulled up, kind of using her as a shield. Spike is aiming at the dude holding Faye. And dude's kind of like talking shit, like, put the gun down. You see, I got old girl right here. There's not much you gonna do. And then he just dead's eye this dude.
Yo, facts.
Like he literally dead's eye this dude. Like, and like dude was talking, threatening him. He just dead's eye this dude. Faye dips immediately. Like she just starts to run away. Like she did the right thing, obviously.
Like I love that. I love that moment because she was like, she knows how serious the situation was.
Yeah.
But the moment he shot that dude
Oh
in the
man.
head, and then like you actually see the blood splatter
Yeah.
like on her face, she's like, oh shit's getting real.
Yeah,
Like,
I gotta get out of here. So she dips, and that basically starts a fucking shootout. Spike ends up killing a few other the guards fairly quick. He gets shot himself, tosses a few grenades. Jet knew he meant business because he saw him kind of getting ready for it.
yeah.
But he had a bunch of like he pulled up with the artillery for sure. The blammers were out. He had sticky bombs, blammers, all types of things. Like Spike, you could tell it was about business this time around for sure. But that starts to shoot out. Spike does end up getting popped. I think he gets popped like in his stomach area.
Yeah, like in this.
Um,
I'm gonna say spleen.
it sounds cooler that way. Spike gets shot in his spleen. Okay, I think on the staircase or some shit. He's kind of resting, and then you see the silhouette of Vicious and the bird. Kind of surprises. I don't know. I don't know. I was actually just about to ask you. I don't know what the fuck that shit is.
At least we're on the same boat with that.
Yeah. Well, Spike bullies through these guards, these other men, and Vicious kind of sneaks up on him and ends up knocking. I think the sword hits the Blammer. Blammer falls out of his hand. And they're scrambling, kind of fighting really quick. Spike picks the Blammer back up after kind of like a scramble, and they both draw at each other. Boom, boom. It's like Spike's got the Blammer to Vicious shoulder area.
Yeah.
And Vicious has his sword to Spike's shoulder as well. And once again, if there's one thing you probably shouldn't do is start a long dialogue with Spike, because if you start talking, like, he's gonna shoot you. It literally just happened like 5 minutes ago with that guy who was holding Faye. Like, he killed him mid-sentence. So as Vicious is like a man of words, man. He was preaching a little bit. I don't think Spike really wanted to hear that shit. Shot this nigga, and the same time the shot goes off, stabs Spike. It's a really, really beautiful scene. It's super clean. It's slow mo's kind of. My opinion is the shot went off first.
Oh yeah, the gun went off.
I think Spike shot first. Vicious stabbed kind of. I don't know how fast. Is that a reaction? I don't know if it was from the shot. And at that point, they're both fucked up.
Yo.
But
sorry.
No,
it's exactly what happened though.
Yeah, they're both fucked up.
Just all bloodied up. Just he's like, Spike was just like, look, man, I'm done with this shit. Just bad, like.
Yeah. It was like, here's the reason why I do respect the quickness of like everything that transpired. If this was real life, this is how this would go. There is no like.
Yeah,
there's no back and forth. Like, if a guy gets shot and a guy gets stabbed, he's not like low on health. Let me get some more health. No.
Yeah.
He just got shot and he got stabbed. So they're both down and out. And a lot of the times at that point in anime, you may see some unrealistic things go. I mean, we were just talking about Attack on Titan. We see guys get fucked up all the time and just have this hysteria of like energy, and then like kill a Titan real quick.
Basically.
But with Cowboy Bebop, obviously it does have more of a
realism
to it as far as what happens when you get shot or when you get stabbed. But anyways, Vicious grabs this nigga Spike by the face. He grabs him by the face and tosses him out the window. Now, when you first saw this, and you realize Spike's going out of a window, what's your first thoughts? Did you kind of already have a feeling that this was it?
I mean, as an 8-year-old mind, oh hell yeah, I thought this dude was done. Like, yo, you just got stabbed. You got shot in the. You got shot in the spleen. You got shot in the shoulder blade. You get chucked out the window through a church.
Yeah.
So, like in my mind, I was thinking like, yo, you just did all types of sinning. You're definitely going to hell.
You're definitely going to hell, right? Well, so yeah, it was extremely dramatic because the coolest thing about it was in that second of Spike getting thrown out of the window, he also drops a grenade. But the flashbacks as he's falling to the ground,
yeah,
the memories that are coming back, memories of events that, maybe memories of regret, memories of happiness. There was a scene where he was kind of back to back with Vicious doing a mission, just like different things were just crossing his mind. His girl or his ex-girl, I should say. Just
that's the
a
first
bunch
time
of
you
different,
see Julia.
yeah, you see Julia, and it's one of those things, man. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and they made it seem like he was going to die. And before he hits the ground, and he's kind of okay. So he's falling. The church is exploding, and he's also having flashbacks at like it's all happening. So this is where it depends who you ask how they feel about this and what really happened in this episode. The church explodes, right? So we're just gonna assume Vicious is dead. It was a pretty big explosion to be that one grenade, by the way. I thought that was kind of funny too, but anime.
Yes.
With anime, whatever. Now, Erik, what happens after the church expires? After the church explodes,
yeah.
What happens with Spike? Is Spike alive? Is he dead? I just put the news anchor microphone in your face. What really happens after Vicious throws Spike out of a window by his face? Is he in a mental state of paradise with Julia? Is he dead? Or did he survive?
I gotta pick. If it's a multiple choice question, it's a answer D, which is all above. Because like I said, when traumatic shit like that happens, everything, that's all you think. You think about everything else that's happened at that time. You think about everything. But
you really, I mean,
I truly think he survived. I truly
think he survived too. I mean, I'm just going based off what they kind of show us near the end.
Yeah.
Wrapped up and in a bed, but he wasn't with Julia. Or was he with Julia? Because he wasn't with Julia. He actually wakes up on the ship and Faye is Faye singing.
Yeah.
Not Julia singing. He thought it was Julia just from the song. That was my impression. And then he snapped out of it when he realized it was just Faye. Yeah?
I think, what? Yeah, I think so too.
Obviously there's no real way to tell, but it's just it's kind of a mind fuck a little bit. I'm not sure what they were trying to imply, because when a person is falling to their death and having flashbacks about their life, you assume that this is their moment. Like, they're reliving their life, their greatest moments, their worst moments before dying, right?
Yeah.
Some people say that happens in real life with people. We don't know, obviously, but
also,
it was one of those moments, right?
Yes, I do agree, but I also like to throw a monkey in the wrench and say that I feel like when I first time I saw it, I felt like that would, like, her humming and him thinking that it's Julia is also like a sign of, like, that's what he should be heading to, like what he should be fighting for, or
right.
What he should be having,
especially after living through this, right?
Yes, exactly. Things transpire that might prove me wrong upon that, but at least that's my opinion. I think that it should have went that way at least.
I get it. I absolutely get it. I think this is obviously a classic episode. They made Funko Pops from this scene.
I know, yo, that's actually ill. I can't lie.
It is. It's very, very, very nice, very nice. But yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, it's a very quick showdown, but it's deep. You know, it has all of its purpose. The Spike versus Vicious is not this crazy hand-to-hand combat, blood, punch, this, that, and the third. It's amazing dialogue, some grenades, some blammers, some swords, shattered glass, and a questionable fall.
True. Also, real quick, yo, speaking of blammers, were rocket launches necessary inside the church, bro?
I don't know, man. They probably didn't have to take it there, you know. What are we really doing, man? This is God's house. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Who are they? Who are they really expecting that day? Like,
I'm saying. Yo, they thought Titan about to come in there and blow shit up. Yo,
yeah, like I'm not sure what they should have known that was going to do the most damage. But oh man, this has been fun, man. I don't get the opportunity to talk about Cowboy Bebop often, so I'm glad we got to talk about it. I'm glad we got to talk about this episode, because it's so good. Cowboy Bebop, Ballad of Fallen Angels. Spike versus Vicious, such a good episode. This shows if you're an anime fan and you haven't seen it, man, it's just really no excuse. You got to jump on this and get it together because it's beautiful. And we were so happy to just talk about it on Showdown episode 6. It was just one of those things that just had to happen. Excuse me. Had to happen. It is a really, really dope episode, and we're getting up to the point, Eric, where we have one more episode to go before our special listener's choice. And this is this episode's for next week's pretty big for you. You know, this is one of your favorites.
Vats versus fucking Knives next week. We'll
try again. This ain't your shonen. This ain't your shonen jump anime.
Man, no, just cut it, dog. Just cut it. We're next week, y'all. Next week, y'all. It's gonna be a great episode. We'll have a lot to talk about. Thank you guys for listening so much. Showdown episode 6. Thank you guys for tuning in. RNC Radio. Everything Lookout related. Me and Mills have been holding it down on the lookout, on Kami's lookout. Shout out to the Big Eyes boys, AD and Jamal, killing it every week, doing such a great job. Shout out the whole team, RNC, Elite, everybody who's been holding it down. We really appreciate you guys so much. We got the viewer's choice coming up. We'll give you guys some selection options really soon. Me and Erik are still kind of figuring out exactly what we're gonna let you guys vote on, because we don't want nothing to be overwhelming. So, but I've already gotten some people asking me. Or some people telling me, "Hey, we should do this. We should do this." But I'm gonna let our listeners decide what we should go over. It's gonna be a good time. We shall see.
We shall see, man. Showdown episode 6.